A total of 23 people are dead in Uvalde, Texas, including the shooter, because police officers stood out there for 40 minutes to an hour, didn't do a damn thing. They had other cops go out and set up a perimeter. Meanwhile, they sat on their hands eating donuts. And it took parents going in, one parent in particular, who was handcuffed by the cops, by the way, to basically convince her, hey, I need to go in there and save my kids. And they finally let her go. I'm surprised they didn't shoot her. And then she saved her kids. She's the only hero in this story. Yeah, a Border Patrol agent went in there and killed the gunman. Good on him. But it took a goddamn hour? What? And what's going to happen as a result of this? We all know the answer to this. Not a damn thing. Nothing. Yee-haw! God bless America! We love our guns. We don't care about the children. Well, that's obvious. You care about hunks of plastic and metal and wood that sets off gunpowder, fires bullets, then you care about your children. This country is fucking sick. And I mean mentally, yes. That Greg Abbott thing where Beto O'Rourke went in there, yeah, he should have done that. In fact, that fat-ass prick who got up and said, I can't believe you shit son bitch make this click with you. You know what? Go fuck your dog, you fat inbred hick. You don't give a fuck about kids. You won't give a shit about women. You don't give a shit about any rights or freedom or liberty. You care about guns. Now, why do you love guns more than you love your freedom to love other people and have other people be free to love who they want to love, people who want to just be themselves and not have to worry about looking over their shoulder for a gunman every goddamn second? What kind of freedom is that? I'm sorry, guys. This is pissing me off royally. What are we doing? Why are we letting this happen? We care about guns more than children in this country? Really? I'll say this. Most Americans care about each other more than they do guns, more than they do about abortion, you know? Oh, it's against the Bible. By the way, that's not true at all. The Bible's pro-abortion. And you can't claim to be pro-life. If you're on the right, you have no fucking business claiming to be pro-life while being pro-gun. Because guns are designed to kill people. They are anti-life by definition. And if you want to just control women and have them be your property, you sure as hell don't believe in freedom and liberty. You want them to be your fucking slaves. And that kind of leads me in. I know I'm going off a little bit of a tangent here because I'm upset and I kind of ramble when I'm upset, but I have a theory about all this. About, number one, we know it's because of the money. We know it's the NRA. We know it's the military-industrial complex. We know it's the defense contractors. We know it's the weapons manufacturers and so on that are bribing these politicians, pretty much almost solely the Republicans. I'm sure Joe Manchin would vote along their party lines as well. But I think part of the reason for this, and this is just my opinion, okay? You can look it up for yourself and prove me wrong if you want, and if that's the case, fine. But I think that Republicans are largely not only letting these massacres happen, but they want them to happen. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, they assume all these kids in public schools are going to grow up to be bleeding heart liberals. We got to kill them all and make sure there are no damn liberals in the country. Okay, maybe that's one reason for some of these white supremacists who think we should be just a Christian religious Republican nation. All right? A homogeneous type of society. Yeah, real Christian of you. Real inclusive, right? You know who else had that kind of mindset? The Nazis. That's what I meant in my last video when I said that the Republicans have become the American version of the Nazis. I stand by that. In fact, with what's going on out there right now, I stand even more by it. You know, we should start sending these guys swastikas. You know? In fact, I think really if Trump wins the 2024 election, you're going to see the Sieg Heil salute. You're going to see the chants of, oh, hail Trump! Oh, hail Trump! And you're going to see all kinds of crazy shit that you never thought you'd see in this country. It's essentially the return of the Third Reich with an American clownish twist. Oh, my God. But I think another reason for this, why they're letting it happen, it's not just the money, but not just because they want to kill the next generation of liberals, which is really more indicative of Rwanda, the way this is going down, but because they want to get people so scared to death, parents and teachers and students alike, to say, all right, we'll do anything to make our learning centers safe. And they say, okay, you want to be safe, let us privatize the whole education system, and then we'll protect you for a price. Private security, private education. I really think this could be part of it. And if it isn't now, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. Because they're monsters. They're evil. They're demons. They are the enemy of this country. And why is this? Because they are gearing us up to be subjected to a fascist regime. This is what Republicans are embracing now. They're embracing fascism. You want proof? They just held the CPAC in Hungary, where Viktor Orban was the keynote speaker, and he was telling them how they can make fascism come to fruition here in the United States. And now they're going to hold it in Brazil, where Jair Bolsonaro is sure to be another keynote speaker. What next? What next? I don't fucking believe this. Guys, the government's not going to do anything. They're not going to do a damn thing. Democrats are feckless, they're weak, they're ineffectual, they don't give a damn about people dying. The only thing they care about, like the Republicans, is how much money they can fleece us for and stuff in their own pockets. That's all they fucking care about. And that's all the Republicans care about. Of course, actually, I should amend that. Republicans, they not only care about money, they care about power. Raw, unadulterated power. They want to impose their will on the rest of us and spread their, if you're people like fucking Eric Prince or Betsy DeVos, you want a religious holy war against all non-believers in the Christian sense. So some of these people who are saying, oh, it ain't a gun issue, we need more God. Whoa, what does that sound like? God, guns, what does that equal? Oh, God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Come on, I know this one. Right, terrorism. God, guns, religion, guns equals terrorism. You throw in icing on the cake, the dismantling of public education, even more grounds for breeding white nationalist terrorists. The government is too far gone. These right-wing nut jobs are too far gone. It's going to be up to the rest of us to find some way out of this mess. We have gotten ourselves into this quagmire of violence and political anarchy almost. There is no order in our society at all. It's all deteriorating because we threw our lot in with capitalism, which is what this all really comes down to, the deterioration of capitalism. And it's been proved throughout history, man, anytime capitalism fails, fascism usually follows. It happened in Germany. It's happening in Hungary, in Turkey, it's happening in Brazil, and of course it's happening here. And to a much lesser extent, Canada. Now, Canada is still way better than the United States in this sense. The UK's got its fascistic problem. France has its fascistic problems right now. You've got the alternative for Germany, Alternative für Deutschland. The far-right party of Germany is on the rise. Even though a socialist won the chancellorship, yay. These parties are forming a national movement now. The Republican Party of the United States going to these other countries, holding CPAC, getting advice from these fascists. Holy fucking monkey balls. What are we going to do, guys? We are splintered beyond belief. We have fallen for this propaganda over the decades, and we are nowhere closer to fending off this fascist takeover of our once democratic societies. We got to realize this really fast. We got to realize there is no voting in better candidates to change things. It ain't going to work. There is no, hoping that politicians, if we make enough noise, will make the right decisions. They won't. They won't. They have all the money. Their donors have all the money. They don't fucking care. I've been saying this about a people's parliament for, probably a couple of weeks now. We need a people's parliament. We need a people's branch of government. We need really just a whole new fucking government. Elect a new executive and hold everything in the people's hands. What we need is a way for us to vote on what our tax money is used for. instead of just leaving it up to a bunch of fucking rich people who are going to rig the system in their favor because they can. And this leads me to something else. I'm going to talk later on about some ideas that I have for a new constitution. Or you could just take the old one and revise it and basically create a new constitution out of it if you want to. But they don't give a shit about the Constitution. They just want raw power, more money, and they use it as a political football. They don't care about it. They don't care about principles or ideals. They just care about how much they can still line their pockets with so they can buy more stuff and have more power. That's it. I wish I knew how to get people to realize this, man, so we can take action, mobilize and take action. But we also got to be organized, and we got to be committed. You can tell right now, these far-right fascists are committed to their cause. They have been for decades. And we've been falling for the propaganda. We've been so complacent and content with our lives up to a certain point. And then when we tried to organize or started making noise about, hey, you know, we're worried about this, or we don't like this, or we need more of this, we get shut down, easily shut down. We get banned from social media platforms. We get, you know, if we want minimum wages and we try to unionize, we get fired from our jobs. If we want any kind of, you know, we want to try to run our own candidates in elections, we find out the system is so thoroughly rigged, we don't have a hope in hell of getting enough people in power to make the proper changes we need. And even if we did, the Supreme Court is now packed with conservatives that they would strike anything we did down out of pure ideology. It's all over, guys. America's a failed experiment at this point. We need a new way to move this country forward. We need to get out of this archaic way of thinking. We need to get rid of this archaic system. We need a new one that puts the power of the people in their hands through our vote. Let us have more say over what our money goes towards in society. Have more say over what businesses can do in our communities. Have more say over how our politicians can behave, with a much stricter method of dealing with their corruption in place. It has to happen, guys. There's no other way around this. America as we know it is finished. It is time to recognize this, to pick up the pieces and move forward and leave all of this behind.